Good day, guys. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are good. Just wanted to share what I call my feel good Friday, like my views on the charts, and we just have a basic discussion on life as we go through. So remember, this is not financial advice. This is just the way I'm viewing my charts today. So I believe we've got CAD news at 14:30 SA time. So just looking at Usdcad, want to see if we're going to be able to get a setup or something we can work with. So I'm just going to start with it from the daily chart. Okay. So from the daily chart, using this immediate info, you can see prices in a bit of a range, right? Price has been in a bit of a range. So we want to see if we can catch a few pips to the upside, possibly. Because if we're in a range, I believe price will want to push back up, possibly to these areas here from here, like as your TP zone. So I'm eyeing 127, 1.27500 as a general target of where price might go to if we actually become bullish. So before we get there, though, price has to break this area here. You see, we got a little bit of momentum coming from this zone here. First rejection here, another rejection here. Momentum in the past two days. Okay, so at the same time, want to notice that we've got a bit of a swing low from the daily. So once we get such a setup, we anticipate the dealer to run up the previous day's highs. You can see these highs ran up yesterday. So today we might possibly get the same thing. Possibly price can pull back into this area, and we are anticipating a break and a continuation to the upside. So I'm going to drop to a smaller time frame. We do multi-time frame analysis just to see if we can get more confluences. Okay, but if that zone is rejected, like where price is, then we expect the dealer to possibly push back to these lows, which we see here. So from for our charts, you can see a few structures were broken, which was the visible structures are possibly this one and this one. So they were broken by this move. So I have 2 points of interest. I have this area and I have this area for a possible buy scenario. Okay. So if I can drop down again to H1 so that we can check other confluences. So TDI on H4, we're trading above the 50 static. So basically that's a bullish trend for this particular short-term area. So for the past 2.5 weeks, we're seeing this, not 2.5 weeks. Let me just check. Just that the period separators here on TradingView kind of confuse me. But it will be a bit clear on the H1. So let me just drop to the H1. Okay, so H1, this is how I'm looking at my charts. We were officially bullish on the H1 soon as we came above the 200. But you can see where those were on the charts probably caught the move, but the best move to catch the buy would have been here, trading above the 50 static. Those who follow TDI. That's your first confirmation. That's confirmation to sell. ID 50 setup here, break of 50 and retest second. This is actually a signature trade here. So if you caught this, probably you're still in this trade, and probably, yeah, it's either you took profit yesterday on this particular zone which we own, or you're actually looking for a continuation as well. So three things can actually happen, right? We're expecting a possibility of a pullback to this first point of interest. Then this is the second point of interest. The third play out which could happen is price just breaking, right, and continuing with that up move without coming to any of our zones. So those are the three scenarios which can happen. So this is the H1. And like we said, once you have that swing low on the bottom, you're expecting dealer to run up the highs, right? So you can check the highs on the 6th. These were the highs. Okay, we have these highs on the 6th. Okay. Highs here that were broken yesterday. So before the move up, you're expecting the dealer to come back down to look for an order block. So on yesterday's example, you can see, okay, that's a mistake. You can see the price actually opened up, then pushed down into this tiny OB here, which was also zone. That's why you see there's a green line. So a green line just it's just me making notes that you see this high, this was your buy setup. If you see a red line, it will be vice versa on the other side, which will be denoting a sell. So these are just zones which I put on when I'm doing my analysis or back testing. So here, yeah, like we said, price could just break today's highs. So with that news now, we need to be a bit careful, because the dealer uses the fundamentals to trap people, catch people off guard, and collect some money off unsuspecting people. So this is yesterday's high. So possibly we're expecting a break, but it will be to our best interest if we can get price coming here and pushing up. So that's my view on Usdcad. So TDI right now, we below the 50 market baseline. So I would love to only enter a buy when we come back above, possibly retest it. That's when I'll be interested in a buy. So for now, this type of move for me, it's not yet confirmed. So this is how I'm looking at Usdcad. If we can drop maybe to M15, maybe we might find something. Okay, M15, you see this push from yesterday, which broke these initial highs for that day and the Asian highs. This push up, we're looking for that order block, which this price leaves. So the order block I see here is this one, which is an order block inside order block. Remember, this one is from a higher time frame. So you can still put that OB within the OB. Okay, let me just take this call. Okay, so as you can see, I placed that OB within the OB, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens to price. They're going to push down into yesterday's OB here, or they just want to break zones and just continue with the bullish trend. So this one is on my watch list. I'll keep an eye on it. If we check here, I think M15, this type of setup, usually most of the times, let me just highlight it. Usually this type of shark fin signals a buy, right? It's a confirmation of a buy here. Why? Because we are rejecting off the yellow baseline and the 50 static at the same time. Hello? Okay, all right, sorry about that. So this usually signals a buy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a smaller time frame because this is usually a high probability buy. This price could actually run up. So let's drop down to M5. Okay, we're on M5 now. You can see price is sort of in a range, right? Just from the Asian range, they only broke a little bit. If you check on the Asian range, because Asian range was more like this. Or something like that. So they just broke a little bit there. So we want to see what could possibly happen. We have a W here. Okay, now I'm seeing if we can actually scalp a few pips, but our main setup is to actually wait for a possible move back into this area before we consider buying. But at this point in time, let me see if we can get a scalp entry. Okay, so this is a zone on a higher time frame where the price has been playing since yesterday. TDI not so clear in terms of price because we've been consolidating with the Asian session. Let's drop down to the 2-minute time frame. 2-minute time frame looks like we're taking off nicely. So what I want to see here is a break of this area. Price breaking that area there. Okay, let me just try to zoom it. Okay, this is a 2-minute time frame. I want price to break these highs because these highs, this is today's high actually, right? So I need price to push and break that high, then come back possibly to an order block, then I'll be interested to buy. Because right now you see we've been in a consolidation since the beginning of the day here and Asian, not much of a move. This pushed up, took out. Obviously, those who trade buy stops above Asian, those were triggered here and they were dragged back down into the Asian range. So if you had stops here, they were taken out unless your stops were below the Asian range. Same applies with the bottom side. They triggered sell stops here, then they drag the price break back to the other side. So those are the few traps which they already did today. So let's wait for them to break here before we can engage in the buy. Otherwise, the price can actually push back down. So I think this is the CAD news here at about this time here. I think you can see it. This one, this is 14:30 SA time. That's when we're going to be having the news. So let's see what happens before we get to the news. If we get a break and a retest of an OB, we're going to have a scalp buy and a tight stop. And let's see if the news will propel the price up. So let's just wait and see how this price plays out. So I will have Usdcad. So now I need to set an alert because in case we're looking at something else, we always want to catch the moves when they happen. So we're going to add an alert, Usdcad crossing 125,990. So remember, this is a 2-minute time frame, so everything which happens here might be a bit fast. So when the alert happens, you need to be on the chart. So 125,990. USDK crossing 125,990. I'll just leave the. Well, let me just, I don't know how to save this one. Let me leave it like this, 125,990. Okay, I'll just create it like that. Okay, once our alert is there, all we have to do now is to wait. So if the price breaks, we'll get an alert. When we come back on, we'll be looking for a pullback and possible buys. Okay. But if our alert is not triggered now, possibly price is still in that consolidation range from the beginning of the day. So we might want to wait a bit to see how it eventually plays out. So if we've got a buying bias on USDCAD, I haven't checked the USD index to see if it's on a bullish trend, but let me see if we can just quickly locate it. Okay, invalid symbol. Let me see. Okay, there we go. DXY US dollar currency index. So let's just check how it's looking like. This is the M2, so we want to go to a higher time frame. For intradays, we'll mainly look at H1, H4. So you can see we've been bullish on the dollar index. We've been bullish. Okay, this previous high was broken and retested here. Okay, I'll change the color here to green to signal that this was a buy area. Okay, so we've been steady bullish the past few days. A couple of structures on the left-hand side have been broken, including intraday highs. We see they ran up these highs yesterday. They created a new high, which has been ran up already today. So what we're looking for basically is a continuation of the dollar index to continue being strong. So let's just go to the daily. Let's see if we have some information there. So if you're trading Forex and you just upcoming and you're looking for motivation, the only thing I can tell you right now is do not quit, right? Do not quit, because at some point, everything which you see on this charts will start to make sense. The patterns, the candles, the moves you see. So do not even think of quitting. Okay, 50 static is there. Okay, so you can see now price is currently breaking this level. This little OB here. So they could react off this one. Problem is here, a lot of OBs are in the same area, but it will be in our best interest if this price would aim for that order block there. So let's see if we can mark that out as well. Okay, this is the daily. Okay, if we remain bullish until that zone, that will be, if we get there, then maybe the dollar will start being weak. But for now, we're seeing a steady bullish move or strong dollar, if I may put it that way. So I'm going to change this one back to blue. Okay, like I was saying, if you're trading, the only thing you need to put is screen time. You can just do your back testing. That helps a lot. So price, hopefully we are looking to break these minor OBs here to go to that ultimate high. So we still have that bullish momentum. If we are to come down, okay, I think my network is a bit bad. If we are to come down, I think it will just be short term with possibility of price doing this. Okay, remember we've been respecting the 50 for actually a long time now, since this is August last year. So we've been respecting the 50, we just respected the 50 here, setting higher highs and higher lows. That's an uptrend on the daily. So in general, the dollar has been strong, or has been gaining value. So we want to look for a possibility of price retesting the 50 again, possibly pushing to these highs. That this would be the highest possibility. So if we get the USD, if we get the USD currency or USDXY index pushing into this area, then we should look for buys on USD pairs. Any pair we start with USD, right, we should be looking for strong buys from this area. But at the same time, right now, price can still run up to this area without pulling back. So that's one other thing you just need to be in mind. So I didn't see any USD news today. So maybe we could get some moves next week. So I think after getting this view from DXY, I think we've got a bit of an overview of how price might play out. So we've been running the highs of the previous day, broke this, could push down, possibly can continue up. So short term is what we're more interested in, because we're looking for trades for today. Okay, so if you can check, these highs were broken, price pushed up, major OB here on the 200. We've had a 1350 cross. Possibly we're going to get an ID 50. Where can it possibly happen? Could happen around this area. So we could have this price pushing back here, then pushing up. That will be your complete ID 50 after a 1350 cross. So that's what we should just have in hindsight as well. Or price can just react off the 13 and continue being bullish. We're trading about the 50 static, so H4. We're still bullish with a possibility of an ID 50 on DXY. Let's have a quick glance at the H1. Okay, H1 is literally the same thing. We haven't read, okay, we touched the 50 yesterday for an ID 50. We had a 1350 cross here, then we never touched the 50. We almost did here, but a complete ID 50 starts here, where we have your interaction with the 50. So this area for me shows that price is willing to push up. Nothing on my left hand side. We might get a minor pullback, very possible. So I think the best thing, plus today is Friday, so the dealer usually traps as well. But I'll be very happy if we get DXY coming back into this level. I think that will be the best before we decide to take any buys on USD pairs. But I will just keep a close eye on them. So one other thing I wanted to look at is Cadjpy. Okay, Cadjpy, just to see if CAD is weak. Because if CAD is weak on the news, it just simply means Usdcad will be buying. So I wanted to check weakness of CAD. Let's see, what do we have here? This is what H1. I think my chart is still loading. But with this data we have here, price is sort of caught up in a mini range there. Hey, my network is bad. Can't do anything here. Let's just wait for this chart to load. But yeah, if you're trading, you can consider looking at one pair, two pairs. You can consider looking at a multiple number of pairs, just so that you don't end up missing some setups or trades. But it's best to look at a few pairs so that you can monitor patterns. So as you can see, this is H1 Cadjpy. We caught up in a range, a consolidation area from yesterday. So I'll be happy with any breakout here. So how's my market structure looking from the daily? That's what we're checking now. I want to see if we have any bias from the daily chart. Okay, so on the daily, I haven't really marked up this page, so I haven't really treated it. But on the daily, we had a strong bullish move, which unfortunately I missed. This bullish move which happened here. I think all pairs with JPY. I think JPY was a bit weak. So we had this bullish move. Most pairs with JPY on their right, or with JPY as a court, they were bullish around about this time. Most of them were bullish. So right now we could get a continuation. The price can pull back. That's what can happen. Okay, so let's see if we can mark up this one. Okay, so all structures were broken. We're looking for order blocks. Automate OB here would be here. Okay, so at the same time, we want to do multi-time frame because we want to trade current price. So from yesterday, I think we had a swing high. Looks like a swing high. Okay. What I just mean by a swing high is your intraday scalp setup. You have a high, lower high, and a lower high on either side. Doesn't matter with the colors. I think it's almost like those who follow ICT, something like that. But it depends with your confluence as well. But what I'm seeing here is possibly we can have the dealer running up these lows, possibly back to this area. That's very possible. So if CAD is weak, USD CAD should buy. That's the type of confluence we're trying to get. So we've been strong bullish. So let's see if we have something on H4 on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so this is how we're looking like on the 4-hour. Okay. And the 4-hour price also left like a couple of OBs there. We've got this one here. Possibly this one. This one. So those are all the zones which you can use as your TPs when you're coming back down. But let's just try to get deep into it. Let's see if we can get something we are familiar with. So one other thing when you're trading, if you don't see anything you're familiar with, I think it's best not to take the trade if you don't see anything you're familiar with. So you can see how strong this up move was from the 1350 cross. We never had price touching the 50 for an ID50. This price just ran away. Because I remember when it pushed up, I was hoping for ID50, but it never came. Possibly some caught this shark fin, which happened here, and just held on to the trade. That was also a good buy. We had a W here coming back above 50 static. That was also a good buy. But for now, we don't have clear. Okay, I personally don't have a clear view on this one. This pullback and push up, we had a pullback and a push up. They haven't broken these highs yet. So to say that this price is actually pushing up, I don't think so. But what I can mark up on this chart though, based on what I'm familiar with, is this area which was tested here, as you can see. So we want to see what's going to happen. Are we coming back to the area with momentum, which could signal a possible break going to happen? Or it's just going to be small candles, which will signal that this price will still break these highs and continue to go up. I think that's what we'll be looking for. So based on this type of action, there's nothing to write home about until we see like a good momentum move. Let's see. So let's just drop down to a smaller time frame. See what we have there, H1. Okay, H1. excuse me, we could react off the 50. That's possible. So I think what we want to do, what I usually do in H1 is I want to mark the previous day's highs and lows. That's what I took, like based on the BTMM, which was one of the strategies I used. So you can see yesterday there wasn't much of a movement. Okay, this was, so we had these highs, which was like your peak formation high. Okay, then we had a drop in A. So we want to see what is this price trying to do. On H1, if you look at it from H1 now, you want to zoom in on the moves which price did. So you will look at this area, obviously. Okay, if we were to come down, we want to see price break there. Okay, we'll also look at this area. If you were to go up, we want to see price break there, right? So I'll just move this to cover this whole area until yesterday's high. So we could get an M pattern maybe on M15 coming back down. It will be cool if we get price breaking this zone and the 200 to come back into this area. So we could scalp that sell. Already we've got a 1350 cross. So price is currently reacting off the 50, which sort of gives a high probability that we can actually get this price pushing down to get that bias we have of CAD being weak. Okay, I'm not familiar with the CAD index on TradingView, but if you're using something like Light Forex, you can quickly glance. Let me actually check it on my phone. Okay, I don't have Light Forex on my phone, but you would love, it'll be cool if you check out the CAD or Canadian index just to check if it's weak or it's strong. Okay, we're going to remove this. Okay, so this is H1. Lows on this day were ran up. Okay. Price hasn't yet run up these lows. Okay, price couldn't run up these highs, or they actually ran these highs a bit just with some weeks from the day before yesterday. So this is how I'm looking at it. If you just want to continue putting your highs and lows of the previous days, this kind of gives you a clue of what price might do. Okay, I'll mark this one as well. Okay, possible we can get a possible scalp sell here, or a sell actually, because now from what I'm seeing, okay, today is Friday. Today is Friday. This was Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So we want to sort of look at the market maker cycle. If we is to start it from Monday, excuse me, you can already see that from Friday. Okay, this was Friday last week. Thursday, Wednesday, we were coming down, right? This was a peak formation high. Tuesday, Monday. So the peak formation high for last week was set on a Monday. Then the dealer dropped. So from that peak, they dropped, you can count this 1, 2, 3 levels before they actually reversed. Going back up, they did the same thing. First level push up, a second level, which had not much momentum, third level. We've hit the peak formation high of this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Now we're pushing back down. So this is our first level drop. This drop is not that much. We did have a break of structure here, but it wasn't that big. So possibly today we can get the dealer running up yesterday's highs and running up. I think it's a Tuesday's highs. Okay, sorry, my network is a bit bad. So we can have the dealer running up those highs. Let's just wait for this chart to fully load. We could possibly look to take profit on Friday's lows, which is around this area. So if I'm to have a sell setup here, so the setup I'm telling you now, or the setup I'm seeing now, is like this. Okay, how do I do this? Okay, it's like this. I'm looking to come back into yesterday's low, into last week Friday's lows, and looking for a stop loss just above the zone. So this is like a 1:4. Yeah, 1:4.5 risk to reward ratio. But what's going to happen now is if the dealer decides to run up with a considerable move, the setup I'm seeing here is now invalid. We're now looking at a different setup altogether, whereby we would have the dealer running up the peak formation high of this week and actually looking to push up. But at the same time, remember, dealer can trap just above and also fall. So if they do happen to trap above, where do we think they might trap to? They could trap to this area. And I'll give my reasons why I'm saying that area. So I'll be looking at, let's see, this area is a trap move area. Right, so they could push up as high as that. So that will only mean that this setup changes now. It will be something like this. So as long as our peak for this week is not broken, I feel like a sell setup will be very valid. Okay, or a sell trade will be very valid. So right now I'm just going to drop. I'll leave this for future reference when we want to come back. But we're going to drop to M15. Let's actually see if we can get a trade or if the sell is ready. So one other thing I always advise people who trade BTMM is if you see your moving averages on the same area with your price, usually the price will be like this. The moving averages will be caught in between. It means your price is consolidating or it's in a range. So what now you want to see is price breaking out the range, right? Either way, with a pattern which you are familiar with before you take the trade. So taking a sell here could be risky because they might react over the 200 and push up. Taking a buy here will be risky because price could actually respect this or be like this. It could actually be like this. You understand? So right now, I think the best thing is to wait for our price to move before we decide on what to do, unless you're looking for a stop trade, which is like your tight stop loss, and you're looking for a drop or you're looking for a buy with a tight stop loss as well. That will just depend with the way you trade. But for day trading, which is what I do, I'll love to see price move out of that trade zone because a lot of things can happen in this area. If you look at TDI is signaling that we could potentially be pushing down. So now it will just depend with how well you know your confirmation signals or your confirmation indicators. Okay, 2 minute. If you check M15, M5, M2, price is just caught up with the moving averages. So what I want to see now is price breaking out the range. So today, I think I'll only look at these for now. So what I'll do is I'm going to change the layout on my chart because when this moves, we want to be able to catch the trade. So today I'm looking at Cadjpy. Okay. I'll just leave it like that so that we can monitor price. Then I'm also looking at KJ. I'm also looking at USD JPY. Sorry, USD CAD, not USD JPY. Okay, USD CAD. Remember, we said we're looking forward for a buy here. I'm not sure if our price has touched our sell limit alert. I didn't hear it go off. So let's see and more. I don't think we have yet touched it. You can see we've got a neutral bias based on this meter here, neutral bias on USD CAD. So possibly it's because of the news as well, but I would love to see these highs get broken. Okay, I think the chart is still loading as well. Because the markings we did here, they are not there. Price is moving. But I cannot see our markings here. But anyways, from what we discussed, I think it kind of makes everything makes sense a bit. I hope the video helped somebody. If it did, please like, comment, additions, subtractions, we take it all. Like, subscribe, share. So here I believe we're looking for price to break this area, like we said on the 2-minute. So let me just quickly go to the 2-minute chart. I remember we marked up. I'm wondering why is our markings not showing? I'm just assuming is the network. I hope it is, because I hate remarking charts. But anyways, we're looking for price to break this high, like we said, before we decide to take a buy on USD CAD. So if we're going to be buying USD CAD, Cadjpy, we're going to be selling. Okay. Cadjpy, we're looking for sell, but we're waiting for price to come out of this range. So this is my view on these two. It's not trading advice. That's just how I'm analyzing the charts. Charts could play out the way we discussed, or they could play out totally different. You know, the markets do what the markets want to do. So I think for now, I'll leave you guys with this. We might possibly have a scalp session just before the news. I'll try to plug in for a live session, but for now, I think for me, this is all I've got to share. So if you're going through things, just hang in there. Stay strong, keep pushing. Keep showing up. That's what I can say. Keep showing up every day. As long as you keep showing up, one of these days, everything will start to make sense. So for me, that's all I had to share. If this video is helpful, don't hesitate to interact with us on the comments or Telegram or WhatsApp. Let's share views. If you've got different views from what I was sharing, I'm open to knowledge. Like, we learn something new every day. So if you've got a different view, do not hesitate to hit us up on WhatsApp. Okay, that's our WhatsApp number. Do not hesitate to hit us up. So it's +27 813 647 252 for WhatsApp. You can share your charts, share your views. Let's discuss charts. Let's have Zooms. Let's go through your views. Let's share my views. I believe we are all working towards the same goal. So if we can share information, share our views, we can achieve our goals much faster. So I think this is all from me. You guys have a blessed day. Those who trade synthetics, we can still catch up tomorrow, I think. I'll be on the charts. It's about 9 a.m., 10 a.m. SA time. I'll be on the charts. Let's see if we can get some pips off the synthetics during the weekend. So guys, have a blessed day, have a blessed weekend. For those who are not active weekends, let's catch up on Monday. Stay blessed and stay safe.